It's the home of the Wizards here in Washington, D.C. as 2K Sports brings you today's action live from the Verizon Center. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Happy to have you along for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Washington ball. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. And New York, looking at who they've got. Calderon and Smith are the 1 and the 2. Melo is the 3, Amari is at the 4. And it's Dallenberg in at the 5, roaming the paint.
Strong move to the hoop. Nice power move. I like that one.
New York with the ball. Here's Calderon. Kicks it to Dallenberg. New York moving it around. Anthony dishes to Stoudemire. Clock at 6. With some arc, and that one's good, Anthony.
You know, across the board, the Knicks played at a very deliberate pace last year. They were in no rush to get their offense in motion and actually preferred a slower half-court game.
Now here's Wall. Goes up to the stripe. That's good. Wall's got his second bucket of the game to go.
It's going to be tough for the defense today. If he's got his A game rolling here tonight, we'll see.
Calderon kicks to Stoudemire. The feed now to Smith. Looking for Anthony and gets it there. Good.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Now let's find out what head coach Derek Fisher had to say to DB. Doris?
One player we discussed in detail is the young Bradley Beal. He said, I was a fan of his game from watching him at Florida. His combination of outside shooting and slashing make him a very tough cover. We're going to put pressure on him and try to take the ball out of his hands. And Kevin, Beal's such an intriguing talent. We'll see if he's able to put up some big numbers. And
as always, Doris, thank you. Now here's Nene, following the miss by Paul Pierce. Pass to Beal. Nene, right side. Here's Gortat. Another miss. Boy, they had their chance there, but couldn't get it to go. On defense, Washington. Calderon passes to Stoudemire. That drops. Stoudemire's got his first 2 points.
Talk about a great start. 3 of 3 from the field to get the game going. They're cooking with gas, folks.
Now Wall. Gortat with a screen on Calderon. Nene outside. The shot. Second shot opportunity. Gortat misses. For New York, they've gotten their first 3 shots to go in for them to start off this game. Good.
4 makes on 4 tries. Everything's falling early. 100%. Can't do better than that.
Wizards trail by 4. Outside, Wall. First quarter of play, we're about 3 minutes in. 6 on the shot clock. With the shot, and he knocks down the jumper. Wall's got 6.
He's so reliable. And, you know, his offense seems to be consistently there for this team.
Calderon dishes to Carmelo. Passes it to Smith. Into Stoudemire, and it's out of bounds to the Knicks as New York retains possession.
A nice play to get a hand on that pass and tip it out of bounds.
I tell you what, guys, if he gets there a fraction earlier, that's a steal.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Calderon kicks to Stoudemire, taken away by Nene. Outside, Wall. Gortat, the pass to Wall. Lead pass was put in just the right spot. Wall's got 8 points.
No misses for him yet in this quarter. Solid as a rock.
Calderon kicks to Smith. Feeds it to Carmelo. Shoots from the elbow, and it falls over the rim and in. He's got 6.
You know, he's got a quick trigger from that range when he senses that the defense has backed off.
Calderon against Wall. The pass to Gortat. He wants to get it to Nene and does. And that one's good.
That's a very good high percentage look right there.
Knicks have gotten all 5 of their shots to go down in the first quarter. Terrific start. Arjun Gortat, the Polish Hammers. We like him, I know, the 57th pick back in 2005.
He's just a quality starting center in the NBA. 6'11", center, can score and defend. Really a good pickup for Washington.
Just 5 on the clock. And Dallenberg with the slam. A free run to the hoop and some thunder on the finish.
Not exactly the way the D would have drawn that one up.
And when you got the space, you might as well throw it down. That's what I always used to do.
Washington with the ball, following the score by New York. Wall draws the double.
And Gortat got his rebounding back up last season. A consistent double-double guy in the middle, and he turned 30 last season. Still very much in the prime of his career.
And Washington has possession. Just 5 on the clock. And Wall. Here we go now. Another one falls for Washington.
He's got the firepower, feeling the rhythm here, going 5 for 5 so far.
Yeah, everything seems to be working. He's in a nice groove. And Gortat, a strong finisher inside, can shoot out to about 15 feet. You could do a lot worse at the center position. The key for him is just staying healthy.
Anthony with the bucket.
Look how well he led him there with that pass.
Washington trailing. Outside, Wall. Wall draws the double. Here's Nene. And that comes off the assist by John Wall.
Well, and the bounce pass was the key to the play.
Knicks have gotten off to a tremendous start. 7 of 7 here in the first quarter. Calderon dishes to Anthony. Back to Calderon. Dallenberg against Gortat, and it's blocked by Gortat. Ball passes to Nene. Dishes to Pierce. Outside, Wall fires for 3. Count that one. Wall's got 13.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And so New York calls timeout. They're first.
Well, the Wizards signed John Wall to that max contract extension last season, and he rewarded them. Made his first All-Star game appearance and led the team back to the playoffs for the first time in 6 seasons.
So it's the Knicks now. It's a 3-point game. Wall against Calderon. Anthony, no one around. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. He's got 10.
Boy, this game is off to a terrific start.
No doubt. On both sides, high-octane offense.
Gortat with the screen for Wall. And it's Beal in the corner. Back to Wall. He kicks it to Beal. 6 to shoot. Wall against Dallenberg. Rejected by Dallenberg. And it's Smith penetrating. Beal pulls it in for Washington. They've gone 8 of 14 from the field in the first quarter. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, you saw it a little at the back of his rookie year, and he continued it last season. Brad Beal, he's going to be a dynamic scoring guard in this league.
And Bradley Beal listed at 6'5" in his shoes, but he plays bigger.
Yeah, he's from a football family. He'll throw his weight around to get a rebound. He still needs to work on getting to the basket. But I think this guy has a tremendous future.
Well, the Wizards very high on their young, athletic backcourt of John Wall and Bradley Beal. Both so young and lively. They can run the floor and score. I get the feeling they feel like the backcourt is really the foundation for this franchise moving forward.
Chris Humphries has checked in for Washington. And so he makes both from the line. And Beal with his great outside shooting, a nice compliment to John Wall.
You know, you watch Wall, how much he's improved as a shooter, but he's best really attacking off the dribble. With Beal spacing the floor, I think they make a nice 1-2 punch.
Calderon, no good.
That's his comfort zone, so defensively, really nice job challenging the shot.
That one rolling around and rims out. Knicks trail by 3. Smith kicks to Calderon. Back to Smith. Anthony left side. Anthony left side. From 12 feet out, and he gets the bucket. Anthony's got 12 points in the game. The Wizards shooting at a nice 53% rate to start the game. They are sticking to the campaign. Wall draws the double. So it's the Wizards now. Shot clock at 6. Shot, high post. Here's Humphries. And the layup's good off the glass. And the Wizards lead by 3.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
And Anthony with the basket on the assist by Calderon. 14 points for Carmelo Anthony.
And I'm not really sure that's the time for the fadeaway jumper, but he gets it to go.
Now here's Wall. He's got 13. Nene with the screen on Calderon. Here's Wall. Stoudemire with the block. Anthony kicks to Shumpert. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. Outside for Nene. Wants to get it to Pierce and does. Wall dishes to Pierce. Beal against Shumpert. Beal can't get it to go.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Calderon passes to Carmelo. Calderon against Nene.
Nice early advantage for them on the glass, guys.
You know, part of rebounding well early is just going after the ball and boxing out. I mean, establishing that tone so that you can maintain it later in the game.
Humphries with the bucket.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Nene, I think, an underrated defensive player. Not a big shot blocker, but he has tremendous size and strength, and he can move laterally. So he can really move and cover the pick and roll and switch on to guards, an effective defender.
Here's what Washington's going with right now. DeJuan Blair, he's checked in for Nene. Otto Porter Jr. comes in for Paul Pierce. And Andre Miller has subbed in for John Wall. Here's Prigioni. Smith with a screen on Miller. And Prigioni kicks to Smith. He feeds it to Shumpert. Porter with the steal. 1:36 left to play in the first quarter. Pass to Beal. The dish to Porter. Humphries against Smith, and he gets the bucket. And the Wizards lead by 5.
And Nene, for his size and agility, at times somewhat disappointing in terms of rebounding the ball. Throughout his career, actually, and his rebound rate has fallen steadily over the last 3 years. Maybe injuries a factor in that, but they do need more from him on the glass.
Wizards leading by 3. Miller outside. He dishes it to Porter. To the wing right side. Humphries the pass to Porter. Kicks to Miller. Another one falls for Washington. You talk about the subtle decline for Nene. Is scoring efficiency, Steve, also taking a turn for the worse over the last couple seasons?
Yeah, still in his early 30s. You know, age shouldn't be that big a factor for a big man, but I guess it's the accumulation of all those injuries, including his knee sprain last season, that may be taking their toll.
You know, when you got someone putting on a show like this, I mean, in the first quarter, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, he can't miss. Nobody can guard the guy. I mean, who's in line? Somebody try to get in line and stop this guy.
Here's Miller after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. Porter dishes to Humphries. There's the feed to Beal. Lets it go from deep. And again, Washington with the triple. Here's Hardaway. No good. And that does it for the first quarter. Wizards lead by 6. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And when you consider how the Wizards are doing, Stephen Clark, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like what I've seen from this club defensively. They're forcing a lot of turnovers with their quick hands and ability to play the passing lane.
Well, you talk about quick hands, but I think it's the mindset of being aggressive and then obviously being active with the hands, tracing that ball so you can come up with deflections that may lead to steals.
Knicks trail by 6.
Well, you look at the Wizards, they've got an interesting mix of younger players and veterans, and they had tried to build their team with younger players, but a lack of leadership and maturity and professionalism led them to make some trades for more veteran presence, and you need a nice blend if you're going to win at a consistent level and get to the playoffs, and the Wizards got all the way to the second round as a result.
Bradley Beal and Otto Porter Jr. are the wingmen. Blair is out there with Gortat. And it's Miller in at the 1. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Wizards. And for a Wizards team that has mixed results in the draft, trading for proven veterans, Steve, certainly makes some sense.
Yeah, but it may also limit their upside. I mean, that's the trade-off with a solid veteran front line and a young developing backcourt. Have to see if they can continue to climb in the East.
And he can't hit the second.
Jason Smith is a really good player, but he's had some tough luck with injuries recently between the torn labrum in his shoulder back in 2013 and then a knee issue last season. He's only managed to play 82 games over the last 2 years.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, Derek Fisher went straight from playing to being a head coach. Pretty rare, but to hear his former teammates on the Thunder, he's got what it takes to be successful. Vic Collison called him the only guy I've played with who can address the team as a leader. And Kevin Durant said he's a great motivator who commands respect. Kevin, a pretty good way to start.
Ringing endorsements from 2 great leaders in their own right. Thanks, Doris. And Jason Smith, a valuable pick-and-pop big man who's also a strong finisher inside. Has some nice versatility offensively.
I'd agree, and defensively, he's able to get off of his feet and block some shots, too. So he's a really quality big guy.
Knicks trail by 7. Here's Prigioni. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Smith right side. Over to the wing. A baseline J, and yes, sir, that one drops. And the Wizards with possession. Miller outside. Gortat with the screen for Miller. Beal against Hardaway. Out of bounds. Wizards ball as Washington keeps possession. Paul Pierce has checked in for Washington. Ball comes in for Bradley Beal. And a switcher also for New York. Smith checked in for Iman Shumpert. quarter number 2. We're about 2 minutes in. Here's Miller, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Andre Miller does a lot of things well on the floor, but he's not really a long-range shooter, so he needs the ball in his hands to be effective in your offense.
But Andre Miller is such a great passer. You want the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he's a really good decision maker. Perhaps one of the best lob passers we've had in the league in a long time, and he is truly a point guard. Thinks and feels the game as a quarterback.
That one is off.
Andre Miller with 15 seasons under his belt. He says he thinks he could play until he's 40. And I'll tell you, with his style of play, it doesn't seem like a stretch. He's low to the ground. He plays with a craftiness that really doesn't require a ton of speed.
He hits the second from the line.
And Andre Miller is really a crafty ball handler. It's amazing the numbers he's produced over his career without being a high flyer, without being super fast. What he is highly skilled, smart, tough, durable, uses changes of speed, and the strength he has served him well as a post-up guard and also in being able to play through contact in the lane.
Just 2 to shoot. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Steve, you talk about Miller's strength and his deceptiveness. One of the best post-up point guards in the NBA.
Yeah, maybe the best over the course of his career. He's got that little bank shot from the mid-post, unbelievable footwork and spin moves. He's got all the tricks in his book.
Tim Hardaway Jr.'s game pretty different from his father's. Tim Sr., of course, famed for his UTEP two-step, otherwise known as the killer crossover, and Junior is a different game.
He is a different game, but he's going to have an effective and long career. Senior was also only a 6-foot point guard. Junior is a 6'6" shooting guard. And while he does have some handles, Junior I'm speaking of, he's more of a long-range bombardier thus far, and also I think has the potential to be pretty good defensively going forward.
Good on the second free throw.
You know, growing up, Tim Hardaway Jr. was really pushed hard by his dad. They would get into arguments about the game, and Tim Jr. said it almost pushed him away from basketball entirely. But in the end, Dad decided for the sake of their relationship to just give his son the space to figure it out on his own, and of course, it's worked beautifully.
Knicks trail by 5. And here's Calderon. Back to Hardaway. Trying to find Smith. He's got it now. Rejected by Pierce. Smith against Wall from 11 feet away. That one wide left.
And one thing you can certainly see that Tim Hardaway Jr. got in his DNA from his dad is his competitive spirit. I mean, he loves competition. Asked if he hoped to be like his dad, Junior said, I want to be better than him. I've heard that from my sons, too.
And Washington has possession after New York gets the 3. Stoudemire with the block. And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Calderon kicks to Smith. Here's Dalembert, and it's all evened up. Dalembert's got his second basket of the game.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
The shot's good from Smith.
Well, I'll bet his teammates love playing with him. He's distributing the ball perfectly.
Well, he keeps everybody happy, and you know what? The assist numbers don't lie.
Now here's Wall. He's got 13. Pass to Miller. He wants to get it to Nene and does. Will it go? Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the way up. Nene's got the game tied up here for the Wizards. Knicks have gotten just over 50% of their shots to drop here in the second quarter. They're 5 for 9. Calderon passes to Hardaway. Back to Calderon. Puts it up. Gord's out with the rebound. Gortat's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Outside, Wall. Here's Nene. Stoudemire spins off the box. The shot by Nene. No good. Calderon dishes to Stoudemire. Calderon kicks to D'Alembert. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body, and put it in the hole, tremendous play.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for New York.
Boy, great hustle defensively through 2 quarters of play, contesting everything, starting to rack up those block shots, guys.
They're crashing the offensive glass hard, too. I mean, they've dropped in several second-chance baskets.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington.
Just a lot of disappointment for the Knicks last year and their fans, as many were hoping for them to challenge for the East title, but it just never came together. A fragile line between being a playoff team and not.
Here's Pierce. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Miller outside. Just 5 on the clock. From the top of the key. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. The Knicks have gone 6 of 11 from the floor. Over 50% shooting here in the second quarter. Calderon with it. Hardaway passes to Calderon. Yes, and it's Hardaway picking up the assist. Calderon's got the lead up to 4 now for New York.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Now here's Wall. He's got 13. Miller with a screen on Calderon. Passes it to Miller. The Wizards need to get a shot off here. Wall, that's good.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3-ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a 3-point battle like this.
Calderon against Wall. Calderon dishes to Hardaway. J.R. Smith on the wing. Lets it go with the 3. Oh, that's blocked.
Things have kind of gone south for him here in the quarter.
Miller kicks to Wall. Back to Miller. Outside, Wall. Looking for Gortat. He gets it there. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening, Steve.
Oh, it's off the charts. It really is. And defensively, I mean, they have to start shutting down some of those lanes to the hoop.
New York calls timeout. And Washington making a change here. Humphreys checked in. Anthony's checked in for the Knicks. Calderon passes to Anthony. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, Carmelo Anthony's free agent decision subject to much speculation and hand-wringing in New York over the last season. But in the end, he decided to remain with the Knicks, much to the relief of the hometown faithful.
And for Melo, the decision to return to New York made more challenging by their struggles last season.
Yeah, you know, Melo is comfortable, I think, playing in the bright lights and the big city where he grew up until age 8. I don't think he shies away from that. Actually, he handles it quite well, in my opinion. It's not easy to play in New York. But the Knicks had to convince him that they could win going forward in order for him to return.
Both free throws good from Anthony.
Melo having a terrific game. He has 20 points and 2 rebounds. You talk about being on, He's been it. Not even one missed shot so far.
Yeah, this is superhuman stuff we're seeing right now.
And he gets it to go. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, 6 lead changes already, and as Rasheed Wallace once said, both teams playing hard, my man.
Now here is Smith. And the jam by Stoudemire.
Well, I tell you, that's outstanding determination to track that rebound down and fight his way to the bucket for the throwdown.
Clark, that is the effort they're going to need for the rest of this game.
And not just on the offensive glass, Kevin, but all over the floor.
Here's Wall, and the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That's foul number 2 for him.
Yeah, you've got to be in control when you go to the rack, Kevin. You can't just run guys over.
The Knicks have gone 8 of 15 since we began the second quarter. Excellent shooting. Calderon kicks to Hardaway. Outside Anthony. 13 feet away. That is good. Anthony's got 4 this quarter.
Kevin, he's definitely making his presence felt here in the first half. He's been very effective so far.
Nene with the screen on Calderon. That one's in there. The New York lead is cut down to 1 on the bucket from Nene.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Well, their energy is lacking. They've got to start playing harder and battle down in the paint.
Now here is Smith. It's tipped and stolen by Miller. Wall against Calderon. Wall dishes to Humphries. Back to Wall. Now Humphries inside. Oh, took the contact and tried to throw it down over the top, but instead he'll shoot free throws. Chris Humphries, one of the lone veterans, Steve, last season on a rebuilding Celtics team.
Well, he was really a salary cap piece in that trade that brought Garnett and Pierce to Brooklyn. So, yeah, the minutes, limited by the needs of the Celtics to play younger players, but for the Celtics, I mean, they were actually better on both ends when he was on the court.
First one falls for him.
And for Humphries last season, to return to form with his mid-range jump shot. Very much value added. He's dangerous from that high post area.
Looking at who's out there now for the Wizards. DeJuan Blair. He's checked in for Nene. And Beal subbed in for Andre Miller. And so he's able to get 1 of 2.
You talk about Humphries' shooting ability, a career year at the free throw line. Shot it at over 81%.
Washington's gone 3 of 3 from three-point land here tonight. It's Pierce with the drive. Fires from deep. Shot is off. So New York will take it the other way. Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. As everyone knows, Amari Stoudemire has had to battle back from his share of numerous injuries, and he switched to a vegan diet in order to help stay healthy. He said it was tough, and when asked which foods he missed the most, he said, "I love chicken and I love Chilean sea bass. I missed it, but I wanted to stay strong." Guys?
Interesting. Thanks, Doris. Now here's Beal, following the miss by J.R. Smith, and Beal kicks to Wall. Feeds to Pierce. Beyond the arc. That's good. And so Wall with the assist. Pierce has got 5 points so far.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Here's Prigioni, covered by Wall. Screened by Smith. Prigioni passes to Smith. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
In the second quarter, they've had the right approach. Very aggressive, driving, drawing contact, and creating opportunities at the free throw line.
Well, if other things aren't working for you, Steve, getting to the foul line can be a good place to start to turn it around.
All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for the Wizards.
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in this first half.
Well, another thing that's immediately gone right for them is their three-point shooting.
Porter's checked in for Paul Pierce. Good on the second free throw. 1:30 left to play here in the second quarter. Now Wall. 18 points for him. Blair a screen on Shumpert. And Wall kicks to Beal from outside the arc. And the Wizards hit again from deep.
That's 2 straight quick three-pointers they've allowed.
They better not make it 3 straight, because now all of a sudden you're looking at a hot streak.
Smith dishes to Smith. Prehione passes to Smith. He kicks to Prehione. Smith outside. Shot clock at 6. And it's rejected.
Ouch. Another miss to add to what's been a miserable game for him from the field.
Porter kicks to Humphries. Porter dishes to Wall. Here's Humphries. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. Now it's a 7-point Wizards lead. And it's the Knicks with the ball. There's 31 seconds left to play in the first half. And Shumpert kicks to Smith. And there's the pass to Carmelo. From 11 feet away. Rebounded by the Wizards. Wall up top. Guarded by Shumpert. Shoots it up. They get the rebound. Humphries. He goes up again. Misses at the rim. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Washington out in front. They finish off the second quarter with a huge surge, an 18-7 run. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Bradley, it certainly seemed to be a focus of this team to have a strong first half, which you did. Is this type of intensity something that coaches made a priority?
Yeah, most definitely. We want to hit them first. We weren't going to check any temperatures, as he said, so we were not going to just let guys do what they want to do. We're going to come out and be the aggressor, and we did that.
Well, you imposed your will, Bradley. Thanks for the time. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half.